Obsessing over that lady on TikTok who was digging in her yard and found that rug. Like, if you, okay, in case you didn't see this, okay, in case you didn't see this, there's a woman that was on TikTok, right? And this will be important later, but she's white, all right? Oh. And basically, she was making TikToks for like her fans and her friends and stuff. And in one of her TikToks, she, she comes onto the TikTok and she's like, y'all, I think my house is haunted. Okay? Because, and then she starts giving her reason, and she does a little tour of her office where all these things are moved that aren't supposed to be moved. She's like, I'm the only one that comes in here, and this is here, and it's usually up here, and then this is moved over here. And then when I opened my laptop, the laptop was like cracked from the inside. Like it just, and you could see it. It was like corrupt, like it looked like ink had been spilled. It was so shattered on the inside, right? And she was like, I don't know. I think I have a ghost. And in my head, I'm watching this, and I'm just sort of pulling from life experience. I'm just kind of like, you ain't ever been robbed before? Like,
no.
And so then, another TikTok she makes after that is she's digging in her yard. I think they're moving a fence or something, and then they hit something, and then they look at what they hit, and it's like this rug that's been buried underground, right? And it's a thick rug too. And then she's like, making a TikTok being like, isn't this weird? And I was like, that's a body.
Wow. It's insane.
That's clearly a body, okay? And then this is the thing. When it comes to every person has different speeds that they operate at, right? You catch them on one day, they might react to you a certain way, another day a certain way. But some people do have like defaults, right? So one thing that's happened in the last like 4 years especially is that anytime a white woman's talking, we jump to Karen pretty quick, right?
Yes, we do.
There's Karens out there, but then sometimes someone will just have a menu and be like, does this one have gluten? And we're like, Karen! Like, that's... It's appropriate when it's appropriate, it's not appropriate when it's not appropriate, right? But for everything, there is its opposite, okay? And I think that for us, we do need to start talking about the complete opposite, because we all know this person. We all know the white woman who doesn't want to make a big deal out of anything. We've all met this person. She could literally be on fire. And she's like, y'all, I'm just warm. Like, no. You are in danger, Bethany. Let us help you. You know what I mean? Like, she could call you. She could call you in the middle of a robbery. She's at the bodega. It's getting robbed right now. And she calling you being like, oh, no, I don't want to bother her. Just if you get around to dialing those, like, 3 numbers, it would be really helpful. And this is who we have on our hands in this situation, because I'm not the only one, right? I see the thing and I'm like, that's a body. And then everyone else in the comments is like, girl, that's a body.
Hey, somebody let me know. I think I've seen about what he's talking about, but somebody let me know if that body, because I hear if he said a color. Let me know if that rug was red, because if it was red, I know what he's referring to.
And this is the thing about internet comments in general, right? At best, almost all the time, random comments on the internet are at least not helpful. They're at least not doing anything for you when you read them, or when you posted them, they're not actually good feedback. I mean, like, it happens a lot, especially because the internet's just out for everybody, Especially on a place like TikTok. People stumble onto your stuff and then they just comment on it, whatever they think. It might have nothing to do with what you're talking about, Like, as an example, years ago, I bought some nunchucks.
Ouch. I feel your pain.
And I was watching a tutorial on how to nunchuck.
Ow.
And the dude tutorial was good. He wasn't hitting himself at all. He knew exactly what he was doing, right?
Nutshot.
But then I went down to the comments to see if it was as helpful to other people as it was to me. And none of the comments had anything to do with nunchuck. The top comment was like, support the troops. And it's like, sure, but how'd you get that from this? So for all of her comments to be like, girl, that's a body, I think you should listen. Yeah. She made another TikTok where she was like, another really weird thing that happened was that my stepson was like going to bed and he went to plug in his phone, and when he woke up in the morning, instead of the phone being on 100%, it was on 3%. And you know how ghosts can suck up energy? I'm like, no, we're past this.
Yeah,
It's a body.
yeah.
It's a body. And once again, she was doing that white woman thing, trying to not make a big deal because, guys, I don't think it's a body. She says, I don't think that it's a body. I'm like, you think it's a ghost? It being a body helps your thing too.
That was good.
Every ghost used to have a body. Why are you acting like we're the dumb ones? And so then she makes another TikTok where she's like, okay, y'all, I called the police. And it's funny because she describes like calling the police and stuff. And when she called...
Okay, and they were pissed about banning TikTok. Why? I couldn't tell you.
The police had told them the situation. I was digging in my yard and I was trying to move this fence. I hit the rug, whatever, and the rug's very thick. We can't just, because that's the other thing. She can't just pull it up. It's so heavy that it's like, it's down there. She would have to dig more to even expose more rug to even try to pull it up. And she tells the police that, and the police are like, that's not like a body. And so the police come out, right? And I'm not a cop. I don't know how police work actually works. I don't know what procedure is or anything. All I know is what I saw in the video, because she was also making a TikTok out of the police coming and checking out the hole. And the police, when they got there, I don't know what exactly they were doing, but they were doing that thing where, you know, like when they have their hands in their vest?
I hate that.
And so there was one cop that walked up and he was like, that might be a body. So police look it over, because cops came twice, right? Police look it over. Then
Twice?
This part is fuzzy. I don't know what actually happened linking these two things. I don't know if the police said this to her before they left or if they called later and told her this, but basically they were like, look, it's a hole. I get that you're invested and that it's the rug, but we don't have the resources to just like do some big dig in your backyard for a case that's like not an open case or anything. There's not like some missing person or something. So we just, if you want to dig.
That don't sound right.
If you want to dig and then call us if you find something, you can, but like, we're not gonna. And I mean, look, in this case, it was just the rug. It's not like a foot was hanging out or something, you know what I mean? And so then that was sort of that. And so she makes another TikTok where she talks to people and she's like, hey, listen, I know that y'all are all invested. I know that this is weird, but I don't have the money to just dig up my whole backyard just to try to find out what this is. Because in the case that it's nothing, I dug up my whole backyard and then I have to pay to, because it was also like going in the direction of her fire pit too, which means she would have had to pull up all that stuff. So she was like, I don't know where this sort of leaves us, right? And
is this the one that they had a fire pit out there, but they had driven fresh concrete, and she ended up putting him under the fire pit where she got with another guy and got married on that spot? I could be wrong, but it's starting to sound familiar.
she makes another TikTok not too long after that. Because what has happened through social is that we're all talking. We're all talking. We're all, like, listening's a strong word, but we're all talking. All right?
We
But you
can hear
gain
you.
the interest, and you can intrigue people from all over the world, right? And so as people are getting more and more invested in this thing, she makes another TikTok a little while later where basically someone was watching her last TikTok about how, yeah, she didn't have the money to just dig up her whole yard and everything. And so then they messaged her and they were like, hey, I own a construction company. I'll dig.
Damn.
I will not be left on a cliffhanger, all right? Digging is what I do. And so then, the next TikTok is her basically being like, hey, this person with this construction company said that they would come over and dig and help me figure it out and everything. So go ahead and tune back in, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to go live and we'll find out together. This is what's really jarring about that, right? Is that TV used to be TV.
Sorry.
You used to get your entertainment from TV, and TV was a thing. You used to buy the TV and know that all the TV would happen on TV. But now, slowly, over time, we're TV. Whether we mean to be or not. There's plenty of people who have realized they were TV in real time and been like, I messed up. I did not want to be TV today.
We're the product.
TV used to, we're spoiled. We're used to 24-hour news. We're used to 24-hour programming, even pay programming. When a channel runs out of TV ideas, they're like, well, we'll let this person try to sell you something for 3 hours. You know what I mean? TV used to just have a few channels. Dude, TV used to have like 5 channels. And they didn't even have a lot of ideas. The TV would be like, guys, we're done. TV, you would have your TV on, but TV would be off. Because they were just, they just didn't have any more programs. They were like, you know what it is. We'll see you at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Go to bed. What are you doing up? Why are you still up right now? You have a problem. You need to see somebody, a doctor maybe. You probably have insomnia because you have left this TV on all night knowing that the Dick Cavett show only goes so late. And I didn't know about any of this. My grandpa was telling me, you know what I mean? But like, he was like, yeah, you used to, that used to be how you knew you had a sleeping problem. And now, she's opened herself up to the fact that like this incident has made her TV. She even said, tune in at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. I was like, you have commercials too? Damn. And then soon after that, she makes another TikTok where she's like, okay, all right. So I got a call, construction company calls, but I got another call from homicide. And a part of me was like, duh, it's a body. But she's like, I got a call from homicide that basically they said that they don't know who the last 2 officers were communicating with because it wasn't them. They must have talked to somebody else who told them to tell me what they told me. Homicide heard about the case and they were like, we would very much like to check. That's like our whole job to check if that's a body. And so we're gonna come tomorrow, and they basically tell her, they're like, hey, if we find something, this will turn your house upside down. Are you prepared for that? And she was like, yeah, I want to get to the bottom of this thing. It's been like on my mind, and we're not just curious. It's like this could potentially be terrifying, And so they're like, okay. And if we don't find anything, then you're free to let the construction company dig and just see, like, get to the bottom of what maybe is dinosaur bones. Who knows, right? So next day comes, and she says in the TikTok, she's like, look, so still tune in at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, but I don't know what you're going to be watching. So sure enough, homicide comes. They bring the detectives. They also bring the cadaver dogs, right? And both cadaver dogs signal at the spot in the rug, right? And they even did in different ways, because I don't really know. I don't know much about cadaver dogs. All I know is that the first dog, he seemed a bit junior. Do you know what I mean? That first dog was just a little too happy-go-lucky. You know what I mean? Like he really showed up and was like, oh, what a beautiful day. It's wonderful to just be in a yard and be able to run around, stretch your legs, and hang out with your friends and stuff. Oh!
His face.
Y'all, this is just my opinion. I think that's a body. Second dog comes out, must have been more senior dog. They must bring two just to make triple sure, you know what I mean? Because second dog comes out much calmer, at least to me. Had more of a dignified gait to his walk. Walking around.
I like the exhale.
Yep, that's a body. Ooh, y'all, come get me. That's a body. And it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough to be like a police dog because you don't know you have a job. Think about it. A police dog, just a dog. They think they're chilling. They think their life is normal. They only have like wild reactions once in a while, Like I wonder what it would be like to take a police dog to like just the dog park. Have him converse with other dogs and stuff. Running around. The house dog is like, hey, how you doing? Looking good, I love a pup in uniform.
A pup in uniform.
Oh, this? Oh, yeah. I wear it all the time. You come to this park often? Oh, yeah, every day. Every day, me and my pal come here, and then, he lets me run around, and then we walk home, and then he feeds me treats, and I take a nap, and the police dog's like, nap? What's that? Oh, when you just get tired and you fall asleep whenever you want. It's like, okay, must be nice.
Damn.
You said your owner gives you treats. What kind of treats? House dog's like, oh, all the treats. It's incredible. I get like the beef treats and the chicken treats. I go crazy for the tuna treats. I try to play it cool, but I can't. They're too good. Sometimes I'll play hard to get, but then I'm a sucker for the tuna treats. Do you get treats? And police dog's like, yeah, I get treats all the time. What kind of treats do you get? Police dog's like, mostly cocaine.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of the dogs that they have sniff for the cocaine, and so I'm running all in the house checking for the cocaine. I usually get there first, and so sometimes I take a little off the top, a couple of extra sniffs. You know, it's gotta be wild. It's gotta be wild to think as a police dog, you just going for a walk. And they're like, smell this. Oh, okay. See what else smells like this out here. You're like, oh, all right. You just on a nice stride, you know, running with your pal, and then out of nowhere you're like, something over here smells like, oh my gosh.
He went back again.
So both the cadaver dogs signal, right? And when they signal, you know, she's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, she's really taking it back. And I think that's also the first time that this becomes like real, because I think, you know, I can't say what was going on in her head, but I can imagine that, like, at the time you're just kind of going through the motions and having your own little true crime thing. But then when there's really something there and it becomes real, like, oh, this is terrible. This is terrifying. And then the police even come over and they're like, hey, you might want to stop recording. And so she makes another TikTok hours later where she's like, hey, I'm sorry I left y'all on a cliffhanger. You know, police were like, hey, maybe you want to stop recording. So I stopped recording and everything. But yeah, there's just people all over my house and stuff. And it was just like, I think it was all hitting her at once. And it must have been overwhelming, you know? And she's even saying to the camera, she's like, and the police, you know, they appreciate the fact that I'm the one that called them and stuff like that. So it's not like they're looking at me or anything. I was like, nope. Call a lawyer. 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 Call a lawyer now. Put the phone down and call a lawyer. Don't talk to me. Call a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Stop talking to me. Call a lawyer. That's a lot to assume. That's a lot to assume. Hey, guys, I just found this body. Like, I have nothing to do with it. You know?
I just moved in.
And it's got to be tough. Like, I really did try to put myself in her shoes. You know, it's got to be horrific to find something like that, what it might be, all that stuff. I think about what any of us might do. You know what I mean? Maybe not make a TikTok about it, but like what...
Thank you.
What any of us might do. Like, I think about what I would do. I'm a homeowner. I'm digging, I'm moving my fence, you know, and then hit this rug. A rug, by the way, that had a tree planted on top of it.
Yes, that's it.
I think about what I would do, right? As Josh. And even more importantly, maybe, as like a black dude in America. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'd be like, yeah. I didn't kill him. You know? So then they like properly excavate and they do a whole dig, and it turns out it's not a body. Isn't it weird to be disappointed?
What?
Isn't it kind of weird to be disappointed that somebody's not dead? It's not a body at all. It was a rug that had a tree planted over it that was buried, which, I'm not gonna lie, is way weirder. That's so much more jarring now. There's so many more questions I have now. We understand, it's not right, but we understand how people get got. Like, we kind of, like, there's a part of you, maybe you're in the mob or something like that, but this thing is way weirder. That means that your house was previously owned by a freak. That just means that there was someone that owned your house that was burying rugs and planting trees on top. What else were they doing? Licking banisters? What goes through the mind of somebody who buried? What kind of witchcraft is that? I want answers. She gonna be retiling her roof years from now, and there's gonna be a piece of bologna under every tile.
Come on.
What kind of cartoon house is this?
That's the corny one.